Hi all, welcome to Diversified Finance. My name is Lakal. Just a quick video regards to the recent rate cuts and the tax cuts that we're seeing at the moment. So RBA has cut interest rate all the way down to 1%. So the expectation is so that our repayments will be a bit lower, and then we have more money in our hands. Plus, the tax cuts will probably save about $1,000 per year for an average income earner. So the message is clear. They're giving all these tax cuts and they're reducing interest rates and expect us to use that money and go out there and spend, buy um, clothes or buy whatever, like a brand new phone, or spend it on food or things like that. But the problem is, given that we still have a high level of household debt, when people are kind of struggling with their money, normally when they get paid more money, because if they can save a little, they tend to save more. So it's kind of like a reverse psychology. So the expectation of the government is people, they want people to go out there and spend money. But when in this kind of economic conditions, people tend to do the exact opposite, where they tend to save more money and then they try not to spend money and try not to go out there and spend money or buy things. So um, but when the government is doing this for a reason, because then they think if we go out there and spend money, then it's good for the business, so the say I've run a piece of business. So if I sell more pizzas, then I can employ more people, then it would help me to create more jobs. But the problem is, in this kind of a scenario, because of the reverse psychology that I talked about earlier, the exact opposite might happen. People tend to save more money, as much as they can. So um, it's hard to believe all these tax cuts gonna help much. And then, for example, if you think about it, the average income earner might save probably about $1,000 a year, and then say because of these rate cuts, he probably save another $500. So total would be like 1,500 a year. But this would be something closer to $20 to $25 a week that you might save, if you're average income earner. But the problem is, all, I mean, regardless of what we trying to save, right? Because the debt levels are so high. If you have like $1 million mortgage, right, saving $1,500 a year not gonna help much, right? It's not gonna be a life changing opportunity, right? I mean, if you get paid, say, even if you save, if you have a $1 million mortgage, and even if you save 50,000 a year, it will still take 20 years for you to pay off that debt fully. So this is the biggest problem we have at the moment. This is the elephant in the room, but nobody wants to talk about. They just talk about saving few $100 here and there. But the main problem is banks been giving us the opportunity to borrow so much money that we're not supposed to. For example, interest only loans, they, it's not supposed to be there. These interest only loans are really toxic, it's really bad, because you end up paying all the interest, when if something goes wrong, if you lose your job, if you can't pay your mortgage also, you will lose the whole house and all that interest only payments that you've done for the past 5-10 years. You won't be able to get that back. So these kind of policy is not gonna affect much, when you look at the economic conditions we are living at the moment. So the biggest problem is the massive household debt we have. So if someone wants to get out of it, if someone feels struggling, or if he wants to get out of this, the best thing is to do, reduce your debt. That's the first thing. And then you can, if you feel if you have enough extra money that you could save, then you can invest, diversify among other assets, gold, silver, or bitcoin, or gold shares, or likewise. Because the thing is, this could be something short term, right? We might, it's not about saving ourselves for a year or two. We, the mortgage that we're paying at right now, we have to pay it for another 20, 25, or 30 years or so. So solving our problems. Like for a couple of years, that's not gonna solve the issue. So after 2 years time, we end up in the same problems, right? So, and at the same time, given that we still have to pay our repayments for the next 10, 20, 30 years or so, if there's a problem internationally, right? So the last time we had an economic crisis in 2009. So let's say because of a incident in outside of Australia, like in because of US and Iran, or some issue like with regards to trade wars with US and China, something happens, some economic crisis gonna start over there, it's gonna affect us really bad. So because of that, if you see like massive job cuts, like then yeah, you can say we survived for like a couple of years, or maybe 6 months or 12 months or so, but it doesn't matter because we have to keep on paying for the 30 to 40 years 20, 30 years, like for our mortgage. So this is not a time like to find some kind of a solution, for like a short-term solution. We need to sit down and discuss and like find a better solution that will last like for long term. So the biggest issue that we are seeing at the moment is household debt, and we can see there's a severe household severe stress. Financial stress has gone up for the past few weeks or so, for the past few months. So the best thing we can do is like reduce our debt, and then we can, from there we can see like if we have extra cash we can invest on other asset to diversify. But when we have a $1 million mortgage, it's kind of like pointless, like to save $100 to $200, and and try to think like yeah, it's a big deal, right? So anyways, that's all for today. I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.